It's a Daima bonanza. We have a ton of Daima information to get into. We also have some super news, nothing too substantial, but important enough that I think I should share it on the channel. A new negotiation between the US and China tariffs, and Dragon Ball Legends and Figuarts have a new announcement coming up. What could that be? First off, we'll start off with the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot Daima DLC. This is, of course, Adventure Through the Demon Realm Part 1. They released a new trailer showcasing how freaking awesome it looks, and of course we've been reporting on this previously all the way back whenever I reported on the data mines that Dragon Ball Z Kakarot would have Daima DLC, which at the time I thought that was weird. Why would they not do any Super DLC? And then we found out that Daima takes place after Z, so it kind of fits in nicely. We finally have a release date for the Daima DLC Part 1. That is going to be July 17th, 2025, and do not forget that they actually will be releasing a Daima edition of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which will not include any of the other prior DLC found in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. So it's really just going to be a Daima video game when you think about it, because they're going to have Part 1 and Part 2. And this will basically be our version of Dragon Ball Daima, the video game. Kind of like how we previously had Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi. Those games would cover all the events of Dragon Ball Z, things like that. So this will be your way of experiencing the story of Dragon Ball Daima, which will be cool because a lot of people have been complaining about the fact that Sparking Zero only features the characters. There are no maps for Sparking Zero DLC, and they're just generally disappointed with how Daima's been represented in the games. So this will be a fun way to experience the story of Dragon Ball Daima, exploring the first Demon Realm, etc. And of course, if you haven't been keeping up, the first Demon Realm will be the only playable location in Part 1 because it is only going to cover the first 8 episodes of Dragon Ball Daima. With all that said, let's move on to the next story. This is according to DBS Hype on Twitter. He says, Daima new illustrations for Blu-ray and DVD box. Of course, this first cover appears to feature Goku, Pansy, Glorio, and Supreme Kai, clearly referencing the iconic GT artwork by Toriyama, which featured Goku, Pan, and Trunks. The second cover appears to feature Super Saiyan 4 Goku firing a Kamehameha at you, the viewer. This is, of course, an iconic pose in the Dragon Ball franchise that never gets old. In other news, any Dragon Ball Super Divers fans out there? In case you're not aware, this was the game that replaced Super Dragon Ball Heroes in the Japanese arcade machines, and it looks like that they're going to have Super Saiyan 4 Goku Mini and Giant Goma coming to the game. This is interesting because this is the first time we're getting a playable Super Saiyan 4 Goku Mini. He looks absolutely stunning. I didn't realize this game had such good graphics, but they do. So if you guys are excited about that, I figured I'd report on it here. He looks amazing. Getting onto the Super news, this kind of ties into the Dragon Ball Super Divers news I just talked about. Dragon Ball Super Divers is currently having an event called the Super Dive 2025 Tour. And it looks like only 40 people got to go and meet Toyotaro and get artwork that was signed by him. And guess what? It features Goku and Gohan. Goku, of course, is in his Ultra Instinct form, and Gohan is in his Beast form. I should specify this is Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku. This is significant because it tells us that Toyotaro is still thinking of Goku and Gohan as the main focus of Dragon Ball Super. Again, we know from the final chapters that were released before the hiatus that it was all about embracing the future, handing it off to Gohan. Gohan's the protector of Earth, etc., etc. So, for you people that were concerned that maybe after Dragon Ball Super returns, Gohan will be put on the back burner, that does not appear to be the case. Still yet, this artwork looks amazing, and I just wanted to feature it here. It looks absolutely stunning. Toyotaro always cooks, and you can tell he is really missing drawing Dragon Ball Super because he puts his 110% into every artwork he does during this hiatus. Our final bit of news before we get into the US-China tariff negotiations, we actually see that Dragon Ball Legends has announced a collaboration with SH Figuarts. This is interesting because they've done collaborations in the past. A lot of people are speculating that we could be getting a Shallot figure, so I wanted to mention it here in this video because I know a lot of you are collectors, I know a lot of you are into Dragon Ball Legends, and a lot of you like Shallot as a character. And if you're collecting SOH Figuarts, this could be your chance to get an official Shallot SH Figuarts figure. So I wanted to go ahead and mention it here. It could be coming as Shallot, or it could just be something else with Legends slapped on the box. We'll wait and find out. Alright, I never really wanted to talk about politics on the channel, but I don't know how much this transcends politics. I would say it transcends politics quite a bit because this has to do with trade negotiations. It has to do with the collectible market because a lot of collectibles that you own are produced in China. So it looks like, according to whitehouse.gov, we have an update on the tariffs. So I'll just go ahead and read it verbatim. Again, take it with a grain of salt. This is the government, but they are reporting how their negotiations went. So, Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent says, "I'm happy to report that we made substantial progress between the U.S. and China in the very important tariff trade talks. First, I want to thank our Swiss host. The Swiss government has been very kind in providing us this wonderful venue, and I think that led to a great deal of productivity we've seen. We will be giving details tomorrow, but I can tell you that the talks were productive. We had the vice premier, 2 vice ministers who were integrally involved, Ambassador Jameson and myself. And I spoke to President Trump, as did Ambassador Jameson, last night, and he is fully informed of what is going on, so there will be a complete briefing tomorrow morning." And then U.S. Trade Representative Ambassador Jameson Greer says, "This was, as the Secretary pointed out, a very constructive 2 days. It's important to understand how quickly we were able to come to the agreement, which reflects that perhaps the differences were not so large as may be thought. That being said, there were a lot of groundwork that went into these 2 days. Just remember why we're here in the first place. The United States has a massive $1.2 trillion trade deficit, so the president declared a national emergency and imposed tariffs, and we're confident that the deal we struck with our Chinese partners will help us work toward resolving that national emergency." So, again, all of this political jargon, take that out of the equation. What does this really say? They have a new trade deal with China now. Hopefully this would mean that the price increases that have been reported in the media won't be as substantial as we've been seeing. I will keep you guys posted if I see any big price hikes on Dragon Ball collectibles, but I just wanted to go ahead and mention that there. Things are looking up for the future. Hopefully things don't spike in price like has been previously said. Hopefully part of these negotiations means the tariffs have been lowered. Anyways, guys, that will be it for this video. I hope you did enjoy. If you enjoyed, make sure you leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to keep up to date with all things Dragon Ball news and commentary. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace off.